knees coming out to the side. So you're coming into a butterfly pose. So getting nice and rested in that position. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Let your knees fall out to the side. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Feel the earth underneath your body, underneath your feet, and your buttocks, your lower back, your upper back, your shoulders and your head. Taking a deep breath in and feeling the rise in your belly and your chest. And as you breathe out, feel it fall. Let's breathe in for 4, pause, and then breathe out for 6. So breathing in, pause, and then out for 6. Arriving at your yoga practice, the next 45 minutes are for you to raise your vibration and raise all of our vibration and everyone around us. Continue breathing with that nice long deep breath in, the pause, and then the slow long breath out. So we're coming into a full moon phase. The full moon is on the 19th. So full moon is a time to release what no longer serves us and invite the expansion of our minds and our bodies. During the cycle of the new moon, we plant seeds of intention, and then we revisit them again at the height of the next full moon so that we can see that they might come to fruition. So as you're breathing in all the good energy of the earth and breathing out all that no longer serves you. Just take 4 more long deep breaths like that. And last deep breath in. Pause and long, slow, deep breath out. In our yoga practice today, we're going to open up our hips and our heart area. So we'll be doing some back bends and some stretching, opening up through the heart area. So coming up to all fours into your tabletop position. Having these underneath your hips and your hands nice and open, pressing your palms into the mat. As we inhale, lifting the chest into a cow pose, opening up the heart, raising the chest and raising your gaze, and exhale, coming into cat pose, lifting your spine up towards the ceiling and lengthening out through the spine. And continue to breathe in, lifting up into cow pose. And breathing out. Continue on, just flowing through that, feeling your breath and noticing how your body's feeling and how your mind is. Lengthening out through the spine and opening up the spaces between your vertebrae. And then on the next exhale, bringing your buttocks down to your heels, coming into child's pose and bringing your forehead down towards the mat. Taking a few breaths here, stretching out, noticing a nice stretch through the lower back and through the upper shoulders. On each exhalation, Surrender into the pose a little more so your forehead comes a little closer to the mat. Stretching out that lower back area. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And on the next inhalation, moving your hands slightly forward and bring your chest forward into an upward dog. Raising the chest, opening the heart, and exhale back into child's pose. And then flowing through, inhale back into upward dog. Notice how your hips start to open up in the upward dog and coming back to down, back to child's pose and feeling the stretch through the lower back and the shoulders. Let's take a few more rounds. Starting to feel the body warming up. And then coming back to tabletop, tucking your toes under, lifting your hips up into downward dog. And then we're going to take our flow forward into an upward dog. If you want to, you can bring your knees to the mat or you can keep your knees up, depending on how you feel. As you go into your downward dog, connect with the stretch down the back of your legs. And as you come to upward dog, feel the opening up through the chest area and the hips. Just do a couple more rounds. And then coming to downward dog, walking your heels down towards the mat, stretching out the back of your legs. And then taking your feet wide, walking your hands up underneath you into a wide-legged forward bend, and allow your crown of your head to point down towards the mat and let your head and shoulders fall heavy. So stretching out a little more through the lower back and the glute area and the back of your legs. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. Just allow your body to enjoy the inversion. And one more breath. And then walk your hands forward. Lift up your chest and lengthen out through the spine, stretching the back. And then bring your feet a little closer together, bending the knees, coming up to standing. Give your body a little shake. And from here, we're going to do some forward bends. As we inhale, we're going to lift our arms and come up into mountain pose, reaching up towards the ceiling, looking up. And then exhale, folding forward, bringing your hands down to the mat as you exhale. And then inhale, come all the way back up, stacking the bones, reaching up to the sky. And exhale, falling forward. Inhale, come all the way back up. And on the next exhalation, we're going to fold forward and we're going to stay down there for a few breaths. You can reach down and bring your fingertips under your toes or onto your ankles or shins. And coming into the stretch. Coming back to your breath. And connecting through the stretch down the back of your legs and your lower back area. Let's take 2 more breaths here. You might like to lift your toes and bring your hands a little further underneath your feet. And then release your hands, Inhale, slowly come back up to standing. Nice. Okay, so let's inhale, lift our arms up. And exhale, bring them back down. So getting some nice movement through the shoulders. And then inhale, come all the way up. And bring your hands together and clasp your hands and then push your palms up towards the sky. Exhale, come to the side. Stretching through the side of your body. Inhale back to center. And exhale to the other side. Feel that nice deep stretch down the side of your body, right through from the hips to the shoulders to the arms. So we're moving our spine in all different planes. Now we do one more on each side. And then come back to center and bring your hands to heart center. And we'll come to the front of our mat. And we're going to step back with the left foot. Inhale, we're going to lift our arms, raise our chest, bending the right knee into warrior one. And reaching up nice and tall, connecting with a stretch through the left hip. Let's take a couple of breaths here. And one more. And then bring the left hand back, right hand forward into warrior two. Lengthening out through the hands, nice and strong through the right leg, gazing towards the right hand. Just take two more breaths here. And then inhale, raise the right hand and slide the left hand down the back of the left leg and reach up. So opening up through the right side and through the chest into reverse warrior. Let's take two more breaths here. So nice and strong through the legs. And then bring the right hand down just inside the right foot. If you have your block handy, you can put your block next to the right foot, lengthening out the right leg. Inhale, lifting up the left hand and gazing to the left hand into triangle pose. So really opening up through the chest, keeping it nice and strong. Let's take three more breaths here. And then exhale, bring the left hand down to the mat. Bring both hands behind your back and clasp them. And lift up the chest, coming into humble warrior. Let's take three more breaths here. And then release your hands and come back up to standing. Give your legs a little shake. Okay, next one we're going to do is a chair pose. So I'll go side on so you can see. So with the chair pose, you're having your feet and your knees together. We're going to inhale. We're going to drop down into the chair pose and bring our arms up. Keeping it nice and strong. Let's take two more breaths here. And then bring your hands to heart center. Looking to the left and bring your right elbow to the left knee. Into twisted chair. And then inhale to center and exhale, go to the other side. Two more breaths. And coming back to the center and coming back up to standing and move to the front of the mat. Softening your eyes here and come back to the intention of our practice. So we're focusing on the full moon energy and we're letting go of all that we don't need. And we're going to start planting the seeds for the new moon. Take a couple more breaths. And then releasing your hands, step back with the right foot this time. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze, coming into warrior one. Reaching up towards the ceiling, connecting with the stretch through the right hip. Reach up as high as you can, lifting the chest, lifting your gaze. 2 more breaths. And then take the left hand forward, right hand back. Lengthening through the hands, keeping the left leg nice and strong. Into warrior two. 2 more breaths, keep that left leg nice and strong. And then inhale, lift the left arm, slide the right hand down the back of the right leg and reach up as high as you can, stretching through the left side of the body. Two more breaths. And then exhale, bring the left hand down beside the left foot, lengthening out the left leg. Bring your hand down to the floor or a block. And then inhale, lift up your right hand and gaze to the right hand into triangle pose. Let's take 4 deep breaths here. Nice strong pose, opening up through the chest. And 1 more breath. And then release the right hand down to the mat. Bring both hands behind and clasp them behind your back and lift up the chest into humble warrior. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And then release your hands to the mat and come back up to standing. Give your legs a little shake and we'll do another chair pose. So bringing your feet together, knees together. We're going to inhale, drop your bottom down, bending the knees, bring your arms up. Lifting your chest and lifting your gaze, keeping it nice and strong. Yeah, that's great. Let's take 3 breaths here. And then bring your hands to heart center, looking to the left and bring the left right knee, right elbow to left knee into twisted chair. Inhale to center and then exhale to the right side. One more breath. And then inhale to center and then come back up to standing. Take your feet nice and wide into a wide-legged forward bend. So heel toe your feet out nice and wide. Inhale, bring your arms up. Raise your chest, raise your gaze, and exhale, bring your hands down to the floor and walk them underneath you and walk your feet a little wider so you feel like the weight of your body is on the outside edge of your feet, and let your crown of your head point down towards the mat. So bringing the crown nice and low, palms are open and pressed into the mat. And let's come back to the breath here. So come back to those nice long breath in, pause, and then an even longer breath out. Just enjoying the inversion and thinking about our practice intention. So we're tuning into the energy of the full moon as we come to fruition of the moon cycle. This is the time to do our spring cleaning and release all the things that no longer serve us, so we can make room for new things to come in to our body and our mind. Planting the seeds to be grown and harvested in the next moon cycle. Let's take a couple more breaths here and then walk your hands forward, lengthening through the chest, lengthening through the spine. Heel toe your feet a little closer together, and then bend your knees, come up to standing. And give your legs a little shake. We'll do a balance pose next. So we're going to start with tree pose. So thinking about moving your hips in a little circle, connecting with the anchor points underneath your feet. We're going to start on the right side. We're going to do a little variation. So we're going to pick up the left leg and bring it across the front. And then we're going to bend our right knee. So you're getting a nice stretch through the glute and the piriformis. Bring your hands to heart center. That's it. The more that you bend that knee and bring the chest slightly forward, you'll notice a really good stretch through the glute, and it'll help with any lower back issues that you might have. If you need to be next to a wall, you can do that to give you a bit more balance. Let's take a couple more breaths here, coming down a little lower and bring your chest a little bit more forward. 3, 2, and 1. Come back up and give your legs a little shake. And then we'll go to the other side. So this time opening up the toes on the left foot, move your hips in a circle and tune into the ankle points under the left foot. Find yourself a drishti point. Bring the right knee across, getting yourself nice and steady, and then pivoting a little bend at the hip and bring your hands to heart center. Focus on your drishti point, bending the left knee a little and bring the chest forward. If you need to hang on to something, you can. Lean up against the wall and tune into the nice stretch through the right glute and the piriformis area. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Good work. Give that a little shake. Let's come into a yogi squat. So we're going to take our feet a little wider this time, and we're going to come into a deep squat, and you can maybe stay a little higher if you wish. So we're going to come down, and then we'll use our elbows and press our knees out. That's it. So really connecting with the opening through the hip area. Nice. So let's hold this for a few breaths. Allow your heels to come down towards the mat. Let's come back to your breathing and back to your drishti point. You're going to hold it for another 10 seconds or so. Chest up nice and tall. Gentle pushing out of the knees, and then release. Bring your hands to the mat and straighten out your legs, coming into a forward bend. Bringing your fingertips underneath your toes or to your ankles. Let the crown of your head point down towards the mat and stretching out through the back of your legs and your lower back. Just relax into the forward bend. Take a couple of breaths here. And then release your hands, come down to the mat, coming onto your back, hugging your knees to your chest. And you might like to roll your body in a little circle or rock from side to side, whatever you feel you need in that area. Just releasing any tension you might have in the lower back. And then bring your feet to the mat. Bring your hands either to cactus, or if that's a little tight in the shoulders, you can have your arms straight. Let's drop both knees to the left and look to the right. A nice twist in the lower back. Allow your knees to come a little closer to the floor on each exhalation. Keeping the shoulders on the mat. Let's take another breath here. And then inhale, bring our knees to center. Exhale, bring the knees to the right, look to the left. Coming into a nice stretch on the left side of the body, and also a nice twist in the lower back. So relax into the twist. On each exhalation, just relax a little more. And then inhale to center. Picking up the right knee and bringing it across the front of the left. And then hug both knees to the chest. Hug the right knee to the chest as you come into pigeon pose. Now you might be holding on to the right leg, or you might be able to reach through the gap in the legs to the left thigh or the left shin. Bring your shoulders and head back down to the mat. And on each exhalation, just hug that in a little tighter. This is our reverse pigeon pose, which is a really nice pose for releasing any tension you might have in the lower back. Let's take 2 more big deep breaths here. And then release your hands, but keep the leg crossed. Bring the left foot down to the mat. Bring your left hand to the right knee and the right hand straight out from the shoulders, and draw that right knee to the left side while you look to the right. So it's a twist on the lower back again, but a little bit deeper this time. Using the left hand to gently, gently draw the knee towards the ground on the left side of the body. Connecting with the stretch right down the right side and through the lower back and the glute area. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then inhale, bring both knees to center and swap your legs over. Right foot comes down to the mat and left knee is bent and across the front of the right thigh. And then reach up and hug the left thigh towards your chest. You might be able to reach through and bring your hands to the right thigh or the right shin, depending on how flexible you are on this side. Taking a few deep breaths. Relaxing your body, bringing your shoulders and head down to the mat. Softening your eyes and come back to your breath. On each exhalation, hugging in a little more, connecting to the stretch through the left glute area. A couple more breaths. And then release your hands, bring the right foot down to the mat. Put your left hand on the right knee, left knee, and bring that to the right side and put the left hand straight out from your shoulders. So you're coming into a twist to the right as you look to the left. You're using the right hand to draw that knee a little closer to the floor. So you're coming into the twist a little more. Coming back to the breath. And each exhalation, draw that knee a little closer to the floor and stretch a little more. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then inhale, release the knee, bring both knees to the center, uncross your legs and hug your knees to your chest. And moving your knees in a circle, releasing any tension you might have on the lumbar spine. From here, we're going to bring our feet down to the mat and lift up through the hips into bridge pose, squeezing through the buttocks and pushing through the heels. And you might like to bring your hands underneath you, clasping them, and draw your shoulders together and lift up a little higher. Just taking a few breaths here. And notice the stretch through the front of the hips and through the glute area, through the thighs as well. Let's take a couple more breaths. Lifting your heart towards the ceiling, and then release your hands and slowly bring your spine back down to the mat and hug your knees back up to your chest. And rock and roll or go from side to side, whatever feels right for your lower back. And then from here, we're going to go into our legs up position. So you might like to have a block underneath your lower back and lift your legs up into a supported legs up, or be next to some furniture, or you can have your feet up on a chair or come into shoulder stand, whatever feels right for you today. As you inhale, come up into that inversion. That's it. And just rolling your ankles, moving your feet and legs so they feel nice and light. Enjoy the inversion as you reverse your circulatory system and your lymphatic system. Let's bring our feet together and our knees out to the side like a butterfly. Coming back to your breath. Thinking about everything that you need to release, all the things that don't serve you as you breathe out. Just breathe them all out. And then lift your feet up into the air, nice and wide. Coming back to your breathing. And then bring your feet together above your head. If you're in a shoulder stand, you might like to take the feet over your head towards the floor behind you and bring your hands down, palms down onto the mat, and feel the stretch through the back and the upper back. Taking a couple more breaths here. And then on the next inhalation, gently lower your spine down to the mat and come into your position for Savasana. You might like to roll your hips from side to side as you get comfortable. Release any tension that might be in your lower back. And come to a comfortable Savasana position with your knees bent or straight, depending on your lower back. If your lower back's a little niggly, you might like to have your knees bent. Getting nice and comfortable. If you've got a blanket or an eye pillow, you can use those. And we're going to go into a nice relaxing yogic rest for 5 minutes. Enjoying all the energy that you've cultivated. So after all the movement, having some nice stillness. Taking 3 deep, relaxing breaths as you relax into the floor. And tuning into your breath and just using this time to relax, restore your body and restore your energy. It's time for you. Start to bring your thoughts back into the room. Notice the mat and the earth underneath you, supporting your body without opening your eyes, knowing where the walls, the windows, and the ceiling is in your room. Taking a few deep breaths and starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, stretching out your hands and your feet, and gently rolling to your right side. Taking a few breaths there. And when you're ready, coming to a comfortable seated position and opening your eyes when you're ready. Let's bring our hands to our heart center. I've got a little quote for you about the full moon. This is from Buddha. 3 things that cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Let's bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for a kind heart. Namaste. Thank you for being here today, raising your vibration and the vibration of our group and everyone around us.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. How does that feel?
Fantastic.
Good.
I have to run off.